Hey, I think we're live. That is Coolio. That is Coolio. Man, what a day. What a day, what a day, what a day, what a day, what a day. What it is, ho? Oh, what Yep. Happy Thursday out there, Jeromes, everyone, everywhere. Welcome to the daily Jeromes live stream, talking some Minnesota Favre and Vikings, talking some nonsense. It's going to be some good times. At the jump, if you want to support the work, keep producer Allie in cookie dough as well as novellas, purpleftw.com/support, all the various ways that you can support the show, all of our great sponsors. You can get discounts at Lisa Mattress, as well as On It. Get yourself in the game. So take care of yourself. Help take care of us. It's a circle of taking care of each other. It's a good time. Again, purpleftw.com/support. It's the top line in the description, so go hit that up. Well, the downside of going to bed so early is sometimes you miss out on news. So basically, right after I crashed last night, Everson Griffen signing with the Dallas Cowboys. So that was fun to wake up to. So like most old men, especially the ones who stay hydrated throughout the day. So I got up to piss probably about 1:30, and then I just glanced at the phone. Now, a couple of drawbacks. So I actually sleep with my phone in the bathroom. It's one of those things where if it's so easy to just roll over middle of the night and you're like, all right, I'm just going to check XYZ. I'm just going to check the news. I'm just going to check whatever news app you want to do or social media. And you're just like, then all of a sudden, 4 hours later, it's 6 a.m. and then you have to get up for work. No, it's no bueno. So I purposely sleep with my phone in the bathroom. But when I get up in the middle of the night, sometimes I'll just like check it. And then of course I saw, Everson signed with the Cowboys. I'm just like, crap. And it sucks and it all that stuff. But the more I think about it, 1 year deal, $3 million base, $3 million incentives. Now we did hear on good authority that the Vikings actually technically offered more in terms of base salary, not so much in incentives, so not eclipsing that total of $6 million. So it does seem like it could have gotten done. Preacher Paul, what's up? Hey, it seems like something could have gotten done, but also just think about it. Vikings do have to save some nickels and dimes for the 2021 salary cap, as well as Ifeadi Odenigbo is ready to go, as well as Wadham, Willekes, Lynch, all the rookies mixed in there. So I think the Vikings are going to be okay. I think they'll be certainly fine. I think they're actually planning on life without Everson. They did keep tabs, did keep in contact, like, hey, we'll have you back if it's at the right price, but and so now Everson goes to Dallas, where Dallas is front and seven. So I saw this on CBS. So it's DeMarcus Lawrence, stud, Dontari Poe, okay, Gerald McCoy, the corpse of Gerald McCoy, Everson Griffen still in his prime, very solid. Jalen Smith, Leighton Vander Esch, very good linebackers, and then Sean Lee is like whatever. Like this defense would have been so good 3 years ago. Like when Dontari Poe was actually something, when Gerald McCoy was closer to his peak, a couple years off the odometer with Everson, Sean Lee wasn't dead. That defense would have been great. But now it's, what's it remind me of? Oh, it reminds me of when the Raiders assembled. I think it was like one of the final years of Dennis Allen. So they had like Maurice Jones-Drew and Matt Schaub and Justin Tuck, just a number of players that were kind of past their expiration date. Actually, let's try and look that up. Wiki 2016 Raiders. There he is. I know Derek Carr was there by then. Let's see. How many years did Derek Carr make the Pro Bowl? My God. That's all right. This is close. So yeah, Schaub. You got Maurice Jones-Drew. You had Darren McFadden. You had Latavius. That was his first team. Let's see who else you got here. Man. Woof. Man, there was cooler names. Oh, Justin Tuck, Antonio Smith, former Texan. Yeah, there we go. Now we're starting to get a stew going. Rookie Khalil Mack took number 5 overall. They brought back Charles Woodson. Lamar Woodley's out there. Nick Roach. Yeah. Weird times. Anyways, Jeromes, thank you very much for coming along, making this part of your day. We'll give a couple shouts here in a hot sec. We got a lot of Q's and A's. It's going to be a good time. So the add-on question, which past or current Viking would you pick as your VP pick if you're running for president? Now, the obvious choice is Alan Page. Sat on the Minnesota Supreme Court for a number of years. Is absolutely interesting, intelligent, wise, just like all the positive words that you can say about a human being. Alan Page is that, and just so much wisdom, like whenever he speaks, and it's just, he would be an easy pick. Now, do you want to pick someone who's just a lackey, like a Dan Quayle, like a Al Gore, or do you want someone who's actually going to be pulling the strings behind the scene, like Dick Cheney? I don't know. Current Vikings, I would pick Kendricks. I feel like Kendricks is extremely thoughtful, he's a lot like Alan Page in that man a few words, but when he speaks, you listen, right? So I would pick Eric Kendricks. If I wanted just a lackey, I don't know, I would pick Kirk. I feel like Kirk would make a great politician because I think he's already in full politician mode. Like, don't say anything offensive. Don't always have the full-on PR face out there. Although I think Kirk is more. I feel like Kirk in real life is actually more akin to his PR savvy image than, say, like a J.J. Watt or a Russell Wilson. Like, those guys are absolutely PR scrub, where I think Kirk is just being Kirk. Like, yeah, he's goofy in that he's endearing. It's like So I would pick Kirk. I would pick Kirk because hell, I'm gonna run this B up in the presidency. Please. All right, couple of here. Chase and Gelke, that's easy. John Randall, he would trash talk opponents so hard that they would drop out of the race. John Randall would be the closest to President Camacho from Idiocity. What was the name of that movie? Diego said, do you think Vikings offense will be relatively the same, if not better than last year? Is Gary freaking Kubiak leading the OC? I also picked Kyle Rudolph, a.k.a. Rudy. Red-Nosed Rangers, my VP. Seems calm, collected, and cool heading. Yeah, that's a decent pick. I think that it's going to be a lot of the same concepts as last year. I think Stefanski and Kubiak, it was certainly a collaboration, but also like game day play calling. That was Stefanski's first season as a full-time play caller. Of course, he got 3 games at the end of 2018 after John D. Phillip. It was just like, gone. But, yeah, I think a calmness on the game day play calling, because been there, done that, got the T-shirt, as well as some halftime adjustments. I think Kubiak would be better at that. So just take the best parts of last year and then just reduce it. All right, so if it was like a sauce, you take everything from last year, you just reduce it, take away some of the negative stuff as well as the fluff, then you're just left with just the demi-glace of goodness. Skull Zone. I'm good at reading today. How many sacks will Everson get against Kirk when we play the Cowboys this season? I picked John Randall to be my VP. Well, it's at home for the Vikings. So we got that going on for us, which is nice. We may have fans in the stands, but he does get to go up against Reef. DeMarcus Lawrence is a left defensive end. So I will put the over-under at 1. I think he'll get 1. Griffin Creer, Harrison Smith. He's an enforcer, also calm, cool, and collected. Yeah, Harrison would send the Predator drones. Like, he's just like, where do I push the button? Right here? Andy Maxfield. So with Everson gone completely, does this open the door for Clowney, or is this a full-blown Ifeadi season? Also, if I was down in the race, it would be Randall with face paint mandatory, but to keep steady would be Frank Tarkin. No, so I've cooled on Clowney, mainly because he is not as good of an edge rusher as everyone claims he is. He just isn't. I think that he's not really well suited for the Vikings defense. If you had him playing inside some edge, okay, but also he's not going to be worth the price that he would pay. Like, I would take Everson at 6 more than Clowney at 12, like every single day and twice on Sunday. Like, it's not even close. Like, even at equal money, I would probably take Everson if you're specifically looking for an edge rusher. So the Vikings, the reason that they were lowballing Everson is that had to save some cap. I don't think they're going to blow it on Clowney. I think they will extend Dalvin, and then I think they'll just roll. It is going to be Ifeadi time. Haimo Kayukin would also like to see in Vikings Hard Knocks how Daniil trains. That might sound gay, but damn, isn't he a monster? Dude gets after it. I mean, the whole, let's see, Daniil, Hunter, Jim. I mean, so there's dudes that you always see in the gym that looked, just completely yoked and jacked, right? But also is a lot of show muscles, is a lot of just individual stuff. But for functional strength, and obviously Daniil has that, I mean, just an absolute physical freak of nature and a guy who puts in the work as well. I mean, when you have a talented individual who works hard, you can't beat them. I mean, hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard, but if you do both, I got both, that's what Daniil is. Diego said, bonus question, did you see NBC's Chris Sim babbling yesterday about how Baker and the Browns is better, more talented team than Kirk and the Vikings? The disrespect is real up in this motherfather. Well, let's take a look. So I do disagree basically on everything with Chris Sims, and he always gets to play a trump card. Well, I played in the NFL. Not very well. How did Texas go? You got unseated by Major Applewhite. Get out of here. But, I mean, the Browns team is pretty damn good. Give them credit. So they signed Conklin over from Tennessee. They drafted Jedrick Wills, who the entire time is like, Jedrick Wills is only a right tackle. He can't play left tackle. He's going to play left tackle. He certainly has that skill set. As I die. Is that you, Rona? So they traded for Wyatt Teller. I believe he's Virginia Tech, like a 5th-round pick from Buffalo. J.C. Treader from the stupid Packers as well. Oh, I like Nick Harris a lot. I think he would have been a great scheme fit as a later-round pick, but didn't quite work out coming out of Washington. Oh, him and Jake Browning. Chemistry. Joel Bitonio is one of the better guards in the league. Of course, they got OBJ. Landry is whatever. They got Hollywood back. They drafted DPJ in the later rounds. Nick Chubb, I think, is extremely underrated. Kareem Hunt is, of course, there. They signed Austin Hooper for like $1 bajillion, which is okay. I believe more in David Njoku, actually. But the defense, Sheldon, Vernon, Ogunjobi, as well as Myles Garrett, who did this pay. Linebackers are whatever. So the corners, so they got Greedy. They got Kevin Johnson, got Terrence Mitchell. Of course, Denzel. All right. And then Carl Joseph, they signed from the Raiders, former West Virginia Mountaineer, plus Grant Delpit coming in from LSU, who solid in coverage, not much of a tackler, but I mean, they're just having strictly play free safety. That's great, as well as they got Dejo. De la coming and I want a Dejo. It's good times, right? So overall, I mean, this is a good team. Oh, and also they got Jordan Jumbo Elliott as well. It's actually pretty good. They actually drafted like a ton of guys that I like. So yeah, I can see his point. I disagree with it, as I do with most things about Chris Sims. But yeah. Next up is Zach Ballas. Jerry Balls. Jerry Ball was great. Like Jerry Ball was like Pat Williams adjacent. Yeah. I really thought Everson was going to be back. I thought we needed his leadership more than anything he brings. I thought Harry, Ike, and Hunter got get it done, but Everson's. Also, man. All right. So Everson was has always been very respectful and just said all the right things throughout this entire process. You know, that goodbye on Instagram was really good. But so Everson started, what's it called on Instagram? It's not retweeting, but it's when you're mentioned in a story and then you post the other person's story on your story, or restorying. I feel like that's the thing. So he did that with a bunch of them, probably like 20 plus. And one of them was from this fan. I guess the fan's name didn't show up. But you know, first Stephon Diggs, now Everson. What the F are the Vikings doing? And then Everson just like, yeah, put that out there. It's just like, hey, what up? What up? So I'm sure it was a slight mistake. Maybe he's venting some frustration with the way things went at the Vikings, but yeah, I mean, guy's human. What can you do? Yeah, I thought he was going to be back as well, especially from exactly what we were hearing. It was completely out of left field, the Cowboys offer, but it does make sense since they were kicking the tires on some defensive linemen. But like we said at the time, 2 weeks ago, when that stupid jabroni, Everson to the Packers, it was completely fabricated. There was zero truth to it, but also it was the agent doing his job, right? So just like, hey, nothing's happening. Let's start talking some junk. And it was that report of, Everson, the Packers, blah, blah, blah. Then that got teams like the Giants. That got teams like the Cowboys interested. So Jerry Jones like, hey, Brian Murphy. Hey, Everson. Hey. Right? And then it was done. And I understand. I absolutely do understand Everson going to Dallas because you look, he is going to start right away. He is going to start at that right defensive end spot. Cowboys mainly have played mainly a 4-3 over. George Edwards is down there. Mike Nolan is typically a 3-4 guy, except with the offseason as well as in-place personnel, I don't see them switching. So Everson doesn't have to switch sides, doesn't have to switch defenses per se. He has to beat out the corpse of Aldon Smith. Cool. Great. It's going to be easy. A couple shout-outs. Let us know where you're watching from. Always love doing that, as well as, what to do. purplefw.com/support so producer Allie can eat. She wanted me to point that out. Next up is a Pulford Skull. Brett Favre, no doubt. He's older countryman. Won't roll over. Ain't afraid to say what needs to be said, and is a gunslinger. Woo! And every Friday is casual, and we wear Wranglers and ride horses because America... ever since out of Dallas, I'm starting to dislike him as much as Green Bay, but not nearly as much yet. I think it is a generational thing because older Vikings fans hate the Cowboys with a passion. I'm extremely indifferent to them. I much hate. I hate the Saints, hate the Eagles much more than I do the Cowboys. I mean, well, the Cowboys, I guess, minus my very young childhood, have never been good in my lifetime. So that's part of it. But also I wasn't alive for Drew Pearson. I wasn't really cognizant of like the Herschel Walker trade, so it's like, whatever. Also, I don't blame the Cowboys so much for the Herschel Walker trade. I blame Mike Lynn, the Vikings general manager at the time, for agreeing to that stupid deal. I don't blame the Cowboys. Like, if another team comes up to the Vikings and says like, "Hey, we want to give you multiple Super Bowls and all of our draft picks," I mean, what are you gonna do? Say no? So the Cowboys aren't the bad guy. Jimmy Johnson completely fleeced and worked Mike Lynn. Brett Favre would be a good politician. He certainly would get the conservative vote, but also has Brett Favre's faults been baked into the cake? So it's like, there's nothing really new to throw at him. So the lawsuit over Score, that failed social media platform, getting paid to not speak from the state of Mississippi, the dick pics from the Jets, the massage thing from the Jets, the infidelity, the drinking, the painkillers with the Packers, all that stuff. Actually, he's a perfect politician. Hell, let's go. Let's get it going. Is there a Senate seat open in Mississippi? Yeah. World War II General Vince Vaughn. It's hard to see Everson on another rooster, but I have a lot of faith in this D-line. I think sometimes it can be troublesome to have too many players at one position. Well, I mean, the kids are going to have a chance to play. They're going to have a chance to breathe. Also, I think with Everson gone, I mean, there isn't like a de facto leader in that locker room anymore. Like Barr, yes, he wears a C. Do you necessarily see him as that leader? No. I think it's a monster opportunity for Kendricks because maybe Kendricks sort of deferred because Everson was a very vocal alpha dog. But yeah, this is Eric Kendricks' defense now. Hopefully he gets after it. It's your couple shout-outs. It's your... Travis watching from Flake, Minnesota, Northeast Burbs representing. What's going on? Ronnie Hippie, Skull from Lake Velicito, Colorado. Gorgeous, Sunshine State. Preacher Paul, hauling it for all y'all, running my steel horses through Valley City, North Dakota. Nodak, what is up? Rayshawn Ivory, Skull from St. Paul, Minnesota. I find it crazy how many national media is talking about Griffen, but when he was on the Vikings, they didn't give him no love. Absolutely. Now that Everson's on America's team, all of a sudden it's like, oh, Everson Griffen, he was a phenomenal edge rusher. Oh, 74 and a half career sacks. Oh, la-ti-da. Oh, he just came out of nowhere. It's like, yeah, oh, it goes straight from 2010 USC, or sorry, 2009 USC, 2010 draft, to Dallas 2020. It's like, oh, what happened in that decade? I don't know. God, it is annoying. Karsten Cisneros, Skull from Chicago. What is up? Duke the Bang Yang, Skull from St. Paul, Arkansas. Wait a minute. Is that a real place? What's the most It is a real place. There you go. What is the most common city name in America, do you think? Oh, is that in the Ozarks? God, I love the Ozarks. And not just because of the show. It's good. Oh, plus it's near Branson. Get some. Let's go. Like, Branson is if Ned Flanders ran Vegas. Most common U.S. city name. I mean, it's got to be like Jefferson or Springfield or Bloomington or I don't know. What is it? Oh, Washington. I was thinking Washington too. Why not say it? Washington, Franklin, Arlington, Centerville. Centerville's stupid. Lebanon. How many? Why are there so many cities named Lebanon? Clinton, Springfield, Georgetown. There you go. Whatever. Jason Sash Skull from Mankato. What's up? Purple Rain. I need to get a tea from Brand MN. That's right. Use the code PurpleFTW. Zach Ballaskull from Northern Colorado. What is up? Robert Bobby Dots from Kentucky. That's right. Bluegrass State. Good at talking today, too. Charlie Boltman Skull from Charlotte. What's up? Billy Long Skull from Hannibal, as always. Yeah, I forgot about Hannibal Smith from the A-Team. So there's 3 really good Hannibals. Hannibal Barca, Hannibal Smith, Hannibal, Missouri. That's 4, I guess. Jabrisky Skull from Trempolo. What's going on? All right, there you go. Guys are the best. Thank you very much for coming along. Make us part of your day. Boom. Next up is Daniil Hunter as my VP. Seems to be a quiet, nice guy, but knows how to be aggressive. And heck, wouldn't even need a security guard. LOL. That was Torrey Hansen. AJ Bars. How much of a chance is there that we trade or pick up a free agent to fill our serious need at the nose tackle spot? Or do you think it will only happen during the season if the rotation, the nose tackle isn't any good? I do believe in Jaleel and Shamar as a rotation, but Snacks seems too intriguing. I think Snacks would be the odds-on favorite, but he is going to have suitors around the league. Let's see. Hey, is David Perry still around? How old is David Perry? He's only 28? All right, so David Perry made the Vikings 53-man roster 2018. It was a bit of a shock, to be honest, but he was only on the team for like a month. Then they let him go, then brought him back. Oh, maybe they'll bring him back again. Oh, he's arrested? Oh, that's 2017. He's fine. Marion, Iowa, local kid. There you go. I did not know he was only 28. Hell, pick him up. And I do think that there is still a need for just that 2-gapping, multi-body, run-stuffing, 2-down nose tackle. There just is. Right. Next up, AJ Barnes. As much as I am buttered to see Everson leave, I feel like we won't really miss a beat with him gone productivity-wise with Odenigbo. He only had one less sack than him as a rotational role. Ifeadi is more than right, I believe. Your thoughts? And is Ifeadi good against the run, as Everson? Ifeadi is good against the run. He's been primarily playing in those passing downs, and even though he was highlighted more rushing with Weatherly from the defensive interior on like 3rd down. He actually played the bulk of his snaps at edge, mostly right defensive end where he's going to slide in. So I think they're fine. They're absolutely fine. Ethan Griffith. Well, Everson just broke all of our hearts. I wish the dude the best of luck. But God, I'll hate seeing him in that Cowboys jersey. If Griff is part of the contingency of guys that wanted to get away from Zimmer, seems like it based off the deal he took. I don't think it's so much about Zimmer. I mean, Zimmer still really wanted him back. Zimmer and Everson still have a good relationship, a good rapport. I think for both sides, it really just was a business deal. The Vikings didn't want to spend that much cap, as well as let the young kids play. Everson just saw way more opportunity in Dallas. So, it's one of those spots. Charlie Boltman, do you think not having to pay income, property, or estate tax played a part in Everson's decision to sign with the Cowboys? I think part of it is, especially when the money was relatively close. But I think more than anything, especially Everson, a guy who's taking care of his money, it was about opportunity where he wouldn't have necessarily had that in Minnesota. And also, like, it is a really interesting thing. You see this more to a degree in the NBA, where guys are going to states with no state income tax. You look at Texas, you look at Florida, you look at Tennessee as well, a couple other states. But it doesn't have the impact like you would think, because you would think that the Cowboys, the Texans, the Dolphins, the Bucks, the Jaguars would just be reeling off all these Super Bowl wins. Same thing with the Titans, but amongst all 6 of those teams, there's only one Super Bowl within the last 25 years, and that was the Bucks in 2002. Because the Cowboys' final Super Bowl was 95, I believe. I think that was against the Cowboys, or not the Steelers. So I mean, yeah, maybe it's not as all it's cracked up to be. World War II General Vince Vaughn. If you were to own well, I guess it would only affect free agency and not so much the draft, and that's a big part. World War II General Vince Vaughn. If you were to own an exotic pet, what would you choose regardless of price and space limitations? Exotic pet. That's a good question. Like a Komodo dragon would be sweet, except it would probably eat me. Another constant. Maybe someone just like chill. Maybe like a sloth or a lemur or a koala bear. It's something that's extremely low maintenance. It's like cute as hell. Not really a threat to eat you. Might go that route. You're there like a bald eagle. So bald eagles obviously look badass, but I mean, they're scavengers. They're not predators. Like, they don't actively go out and kill things except for like fish. But generally what they'll do is they'll just scavenge. Like, deer gets hit by a car, or a deer gets mauled by a bear or mountain lion, and all of a sudden the eagle's like, caw, freedom. A free food. Great. Next up is Preacher Paul. Holland for all y'all. I'd say Matt Burke or Steve Hutchinson. They get in the middle and mix it up, and they're pretty smart. Yeah. What was it saying? Like, offensive linemen are always the smartest guys on the team, because they really are. Because if you think about it, they have the position that requires the most teamwork, as well as like the most intricate, besides quarterback, like most intricate part of the game. It just is, right? Also, you don't get subbed out. Like you don't have offensive line sub packages. Although maybe you should, right? I'm talking more than just like, jumbo package or unbalanced. I'm talking about like actual, like, these are your rundown linemen. These are your passing game linemen. Actually, that would make sense, wouldn't it? But Charlie Boltman, fairly certain Garrett Bradbury is tied for the second highest center ever drafted in 7-round era. Is he under a lot of pressure to live up to the draft stats, and how long will the Vikings give him to reach that potential? Where does he rank among the NFL NFC North centers? All right, so it's James Daniels, NFC North. All right, so it's Daniels, and it's is Ragnow the center for the Lions now? Let's see, Lions. Yeah, right. So Ragnar now is at the pivot. I believe he started at guard. Then let's see here, Parker. Packers centers, I'm blanking right now. Is it Jenkins? No. So they got Corey Linsley. Why don't they start Jenkins? That's what I don't get. For Bradbury, I would probably put him at the bottom as of right now. Even though he did rebound nicely at the back end of his rookie year. First 4 games were abysmal. Week 16 against the Packers was dead ass. But I would put him 4th with a qualifier that, of course, there's a lot of football left to play. I would put, not even looking at the PFF grades, I would put Ragnall 1. I would put Daniels 2. I would put Lindsley 3. Yeah, 'cause Daniel's starting for the Bears, right? It's not Whitehair. Our lads Bears. I really like James Daniels coming out of Iowa, man. He was a dude. Oh no, they got Whitehair. All right, so yeah, the rankings remain the same. I actually liked Whitehair coming out of Kansas State as well. So there you go. Yeah, good times. Draft status. I don't really think that it matters. I feel like once you get away from skill position players, like draft status, that sort of goes out the window. Like no one really cares. Well, skill position players. All right, so quarterbacks obviously matters. Running backs, wide receivers, tight ends, it matters. Edge rushers, certainly. But I feel like if you get into the line, interior linemen as well, linebackers, like who's really holding Devin Bush's feet to the fire? Travis, definitely Chris Carter, Harrison Smith. Carter because he seems like a generally good guy who'd be a good mentor advisor. Always have a fall guy. Smith because he'd be able to make level-headed decisions and not gravitate much negative media attention. Yeah, I'm trying to think like who would be the squeakiest clean off the field. Probably Kirk, probably Harrison. Probably, well, not Hughes. I feel like Anthony Harris would be a good pick. Now, you went to Virginia. Who's? Very thoughtful, very well-spoken dude. Very introspective. I feel like Anthony Harris would be a great pick. And clean off the field as well. Daniil would be a great pick, too. Yeah. Next up, BC Johnson. I feel like BC Johnson would be great. Also, vote for BC. BC Brigade. Let's go. Spartus JX. God, I skipped one. Jason Sage. I picked Alan Page because he would give the most knowledge with law and could help in that department. Well, executive branch, we don't care about law. Just Bigfoot, everyone. Also describe what would be your perfect sandwich. So, vacillate back and forth. Nostalgia from being a kid. So, white Wonder Bread. Actually, store brand white Wonder Bread. Bologna, American cheese, like not even like the from milk, like full on processed vegetable oil one. And also yellow mustard. I mean, that just takes it back like chiroprac. Favorite sandwich now, the Vito from Jimmy John's. I really like Italian sandwiches. So you get salami, you get prosciutto, you get mortadella, you get all that stuff and just like pile it on. Get some good mustard. You're good. Spartus JX. Andy, let's see if you pronounce my name correctly this time. I think I did. Actually, I screwed up the first time. Do you think it will be a good idea for the NFL to introduce a draft lottery for the number 1 pick someday, similar to what the NBA does? My running mate will be Moss for the sole purpose of hearing him tell people staying a stimulus package with straight cash, homie. So lottery, I don't think that would be good. So tanking in the NFL, tanking in most leagues, well, tanking in NFL specifically, since there's so many players and coaches involved, it's really hard. Right? We talk about teams tanking, but yeah. I think that since there's already so many conspiracy theories with the NFL, if they did a lottery, like that would just go through the roof. Like somehow the Patriots just barely miss the playoffs and then they win the lottery. Like if there's a lottery, this draft is like, okay. Yeah, okay. Like Cam Newton leads them to an 8-8 record. They just barely miss out on the playoffs. They end up being like the 8th seed. And it's like, okay, sure. I'm actually fine with the NFL draft process right now. I think the NBA lottery, yeah. I mean, it makes for a good TV on like that Thursday for half an hour show that they do, but man. Westworld. Rick just got bamboozled by Bill O'Brien. Nah, in all serious. Because PJ Hall just signed with the Texans. He's like, Bill O'Brien's like, hey, you know that fat guy who didn't pass his physical? I'm in. Also, can I still trade Nuke again for a second and fourth round and a running back that no one wants it, who gets paid a lot of money? Huh? In all seriousness, can you do an Everson film room against last year's playoff game against the Saints? Man, went off. I mean, we could. Or I'll try. Oh, yeah, there is Everson versus Riley Reef film when Reef was in Detroit. Let's do that. Hello, Freak YT. Do you see Everson go to Dallas anyway? So you can beat them in the regular season. You're going to beat their ass. We after that ass, Everson. We after that ass. Right. I'm going to root for Everson every single day until the day I die, except for the days they plays the Vikings. That's all. Eric Hansen. Randy Moss would be so much fun as VP, but I think the smartest pick would be Alan Page, prime Judge years, absolutely. Hire Zimmer as Secretary of Defense, get Mac Burt on board somehow too. I don't know. Yeah. Stanley Moros. Bert Favor, Southern Boy Charm, corralling those muddied boots, working class votes, slinging passive shade in debates. Long live the Favre. Except, like, every Favre, like, they would have to pull out, like, the timer gong every single time. Because Brett Favre, well, what do I think about healthcare reform? Well, you have health, and you want to care for it, and there should be reform. Oh, man, I mean, Favre is just an absolute, like, full-on narcissist. He really is. Like, every single press conference, every single, well, do I want to retire? Do I don't want to retire? Of course. Like, he, at his core, he is basically like a 14-year-old girl on TikTok and Instagram. Like, that's just exactly what he is. He loved the attention. He did. It's just amazing. And this comes from a narcissist, by the way. Next up, Ethan Griffith. Kyle Rudolph, really an upstanding guy who gets robbed on Walter Payton Man of the Year award. What's the vice president do except for, like, step in for me when I get shot? I feel like if I was president, I get shot a lot. Not just like a little bit, like a lot. Zach Ballas. Chances Everson pulls an Anthony Barr and comes back. No, I think this one is done. Kyle Rippentrop, Frank Tarkenton or Bugger. Actually, that would be hilarious if he pulled a Barr. Actually, I should have the news open just in case. Nah, it hasn't happened yet. Oh yeah, Sean McDermott getting the 6-year extension, man. Like, hey, how does it feel to get an extension on from the work of Leslie Frazier and his defense, huh? Sean McDermott, you yuts. Get out here. Kyle Rippentrop, Frank Tarkenton or Bug Grant. Tarkenton did get into politics, didn't he? Bug Grant doesn't have time for politics. I feel like he would not put up with the bureaucracy and the bull poop. He just wouldn't. That's what I love about him, man. Next up is Chad Greenway would be a good pick too. I think Chad would be good. If you could have any Viking on the show, who would it be? I would have Rodney Adams on. We talk about vlogging. Rodney Adams. Oh, he got proposed, or he got engaged. Wait, the wedding was almost ruined? Oh, no. Yeah, so Rodney Adams, if you remember, was it 2017 fifth round pick coming out of Southern Florida.
But listen, I have a good reason.
Wide receiver, kick returner. I actually had pretty high hopes for him.
You already know from the title of this video what is going down.
He was
I'm proposing to Madison today. She has no clue. Like a surprise proposal party.
He didn't make the opening 53, which
her family
I thought was a bad sign.
She doesn't know anything. I had to come outside so she couldn't hear me.
I think he ended up with
She knows that I'm vlogging the whole thing, but it's actually pretty dope. I'm taking her on a helicopter ride because she's never been, and she's always wanted to go on a helicopter ride, so we're going to do that, and she has no clue.
I did remember seeing him at the zoo once. He had the full-on, like, camera on like, the tripod stick.
3-4 months ago, documenting. She has no idea what is going down.
Let's see if the video's on here. Because, so Minnesota Zoo, I assume is like 2017, 2018, somewhere in there. All right, so retired. Why did he retire? That was 1 year ago. Yeah, he rocked that number 12. He rocked the Josh Freeman. Well, and Percy Harvin. There you go. That's what happened. Well, other Viking I would have on. I feel Brian Robinson would just be a lot of fun, right? Nah. Next up is Keith Millard. Get Keith Millard on to tell stories, or like Joe Cap or Tommy Kramer, 494 Tommy. Nah. Everyone knows. Well, older fans know. Pulford Skull. Number one, I like the idea of signing Logan Ryan. He's a honey badger with coach-like instincts, intelligence, and a versatile pick. We could use some seniority in the cornerback room. Sign AB now. His stock market is low. I'm telling you, now is the time. When the season starts, it won't last long. Let him get some live reps during training camp. One-time Vikes. Come on, man. I'm in on Ryan for the right price. And also, he said he's open to playing safety. Where Logan Ryan's actually panicking right now, man. I wonder if he's going to get picked up. AB, of course, 8-game suspension, potentially more, would make sense. Doesn't count against the roster. And also, I love people. Don't bring in AB. He's a locker room cancer. He'll spread his influence over Justin Jefferson. Do you want that? I mean, talk about like the low expectations of Justin Jefferson. Like Justin Jefferson, I'm sure during his lifetime has been around a bunch of a-holes, been around a lot of shady characters, and he's still an upstanding kid. You're telling me you think so little of Justin Jefferson that just being in the mere presence of a work environment of a person who maybe has questionable character and motives, like all of a sudden that's going to sour him? Please. We're around assholes every day. And people who don't become an asshole is like, oh, we can't be around a-holes. Can't do that. Please. Or you tell me that Antonio Brown, while socially distancing, is just going to corrupt Justin Jefferson, who played at LSU with OBJ in the locker room, like handing out cash, right? That was actually a real thing. Or a guy like Olabisi Johnson, just like, you know what? My entire life, raised by good parents, worked hard, never complained, just did that, was always a great teammate. I'm going to throw all that away, all 22, 23 years of my life, just because Antonio Brown said, hey, we should do this. You're right, Antonio Brown. Let's go to the roof and throw some furniture off of it. Huh? Yeah. Let's get in a fight with a moving delivery man. It's just so stupid. It's so, how do you explain it? It's like bumper sticker, like, oh, locker room cancer. It's so moronic and like unserious. Like anytime anyone says anything like that, they're very you can tell they're a very unserious person whose opinion should not be taken like at all. Like, no. But other than that, I have no opinion on it. Next up, Charlie Boltman. Do you find it interesting that Rick Dennison went from linebacker, who was paid to pick apart running schemes, pass pros, to quarterback coach, to O-line coach, who's now paid to design pass pros and running schemes? He's damn good at it. Also, who the heck is calling plays if something happens to Gary and Clint? Would it legitimately be Dennison? Well, Dennison does have play calling experience. Well, if something happened to Gary and Clint, it kind of suck. I think Kubiak, the younger, would be in line to be calling plays, and then Dennison, then God, who the hell knows? Maybe Periani. Sure. But yeah, Dennison is an interesting story. So he was a linebacker on the Broncos Super Bowl participant teams, because John Elway went to 5 Super Bowls. I think that's right. He won 2. He lost the first 3 because he had some bad teams. But Dennison was Dennison was teammates with Tom Jackson. Remember him from NFL Countdown, like him and Chris Berman. So yeah, Dennison was a linebacker, and then he got into coaching, and then he got into special teams coaching. He was actually the special teams coordinator of the Shanahan-Kubiak, but really Kubiak Super Bowl teams, 97, 98. God, the 98 one still hurts. We would have kicked their ass, but no. And then he got to be an offensive line coach, offensive coordinator, where to a degree, I mean, it's not like you're coaching a different sport. Football is football. Also, I feel like his experience on defense would help him develop offense. Like, you would think that Zimmer would have a better ear for offensive coaching just because he prepares for offenses all the time, but he doesn't. And it's weird. It's like there was such a kerfuffle when Andy Reid took Juan Castillo, who's been a long-time offensive line coach, and then he turned him into his defense coordinator in Philly. I think that's right. Let's look that up. Yeah, Juan Castillo, longtime offensive line coach, and then all of a sudden, it was during the Eagles' Dream Team years. Pretty sure. All of a sudden, like Andy Reid's like, hey, my O-line coach is now going to be my defensive coordinator. And everyone's like, huh? I think the Eagles' defenses were bad then. I think that was just after Jim Johnson retired. R.I.P., by the way. Next up is Blake Kettler. Harrison, he is quiet, collected, and a good leader, and can kick some ass when need be. Are you strictly deer hunter, or do you dabble in some waterfall as well as skull? Well, throughout my life, so when I was younger, it was just deer. Now it's just deer. Think about branching out. I said I wouldn't go turkey hunting because I was like, if you're successful, all you come away with is a turkey. But I feel like it is a lot more involved than, say, Midwestern whitetail hunting, when you're just sitting in a tree stand or a ground blind. But like actively, calling in turkeys, I think that's kind of cool. My father-in-law is a big pheasant hunter. Perhaps we'll do that over the winter, it's like winter, right? Yeah, I know that pheasant hunting is like really big in the Dakotas and whatnot. Eventually want to go elk hunting. Pretty indifferent about bear hunting at this time. But other waterfowl like duck hunting certainly would be in for that. Yeah, just getting back into the game, then eventually branch out. That's how most people rock and roll. Also, the daughter wants to go squirrel hunting. I mean, she's obviously not old enough for even like 22 hunting, but that's intriguing because I've eaten squirrel before. It's actually really good. And also it's intriguing is like you can go to, on your land or if you're outside the town or just public land anywhere when it's in season, just take a 22 or take a shotgun and just shoot squirrels and then eat them. And also longtime hunters do say that is the best practice because you get the 22, you get to work on aim. You don't have to worry about recoil from like a shotgun or a heavy duty rifle, and it makes a lot of sense. Plus you get to eat squirrel. It's actually really good. Yeah. Oakview. Oh, also want to go fish bow hunting, but I have stupid hobbies. Oakview, definitely Kirk. What's your opinion on Aaron Rodgers getting replaced? It's going to happen. And I'm not looking forward to it. I would rather have the Packers for the next 5 years with Rodgers than Jordan Love in the next 5 years. I just would. Andrew Hansen. Didn't college football should allow players to transfer from conferences that aren't playing to conferences that are? Yes. 1,000% yes. I feel like a lot of players have missed a shot at NFL career because they lost their junior, senior season. Yeah. Joe Burrow pointed this out too. Is like if this his VP would be Matt Burke. If this pandemic happened last offseason, Joe Burrow would be working like a 9-to-5 job now. Because he was not on the NFL radar after one season at LSU. It was like, okay. But then 1 year, Heisman Trophy winner, number 1 overall pick. I mean, think of what kids are just going to miss out on that. Think of Justin Fields at Ohio State. Had a great season last year. Probably going to be a first-round pick. Now could be up on blocks. I think he should. I think all players should be able to just transfer with no problem. And if they do that, also you think about how this is going to affect recruiting, like that 2021 class coming in. Maybe they're like, nah, not so much. I mean, there are so many ramifications from the Big Ten and the Pac-12 opting out, as well as some of the smaller conferences, that it's really going to exacerbate the haves and have-nots in college football. And Big Ten and the Pac-12 are going to be the have-nots. There's our Joe Stupka. My VP pick would be Harrison Smith. And do you think Dan Chisena could sneak his way onto the roster? Probably not roster. I don't see the Vikings carrying more than 5 receivers. I think the top 5 spots are spoken for. Thielen, Jefferson, BC, Sharp. Like maybe if Sharp doesn't make it, and KJ Osborne's pretty much a lock to make it. But Chisena's intriguing. So he's big. He's 6'3". He's like 210 or 220. Absolute track star. I don't know if he'd ever pan out as a receiver, but just as like a punt gunner, kick coverage, special teams guy, he's intriguing. Charlie Boltman, Ellen Page is honestly the best answer, but Brett Favre, ass slap, and the rest of the cabinet is a fun answer. I might also take Matt Burke. What does Kendricks need to do to take the next step in run defense? Is it improved technique at the point of attack, getting a line better, or is it just coaches putting the defense in better spots? Well, I feel like with linebackers, at a certain point, you either have instincts or you don't, and you can do things to get yourself better at the point of attack. Notably, Eric Wilson. So Eric Wilson's always had a great nose for the ball, but was sometimes washed out at the point of attack, like when he replaced Barr at strong side linebacker a couple years ago, just because he didn't have that size. Like he was getting washed out by offensive linemen. I think Kendricks did suffer from that to a degree. I think he's always been relatively tenacious in the run game. He's always had great instincts. I think that Michael Pierce would have greatly helped. Like just that mug in the middle, absorbing bodies, the way that young Linval used to do it, would have been phenomenal. But yeah, we'll see. Luke K. I would have chosen Bud Grant or Meg Zimmer. Zimmer would have been good. VP Zim. Shoot. Vince Vaughn, Matt Burke would be a good VP. Nick Doroff, Jared Allen. yeah, Jared Allen. So he gave up drinking a while ago. He had some alcohol issues with the Chiefs, but he would be good. I think he absolutely would be good. He'd be hilarious. He'd be great for a good soundbite. I think he'd be solid in debates. He's very, he's very support the troops. He works with the Wounded Warriors Foundation all the time. Jared Allen's a good one. What Minnesota Vikings player would get a tattoo of his significant other's name tattooed on his body? Anthony Barr, and it'd be his sister. That's a deep cut. That's from 96 Questions. Go look that up. Luke K. We need a cooking show, Andy. Anyways, top 5 best condiments. Producer Alec keeps bothering me about a cooking show. And hey, I'll tell you what. If there's enough support, purplefgw.com/support, maybe we'll think about doing a cooking channel. It's the top line in the description. Go do that. All the ways to support the channel. Anyways, top 5 condiments. Well, do you consider kimchi a condiment or a side dish? Or like, do you consider guacamole a condiment? Tebow considers it's a side, or is it like a dip? Stuff. So for me, mustard 1. So like the really good spicy like brown mustard, or you get the one with like the mustard seeds, just really good. So that I'll pick mayo 2, but homemade mayo, like you spin it yourself with the eggs, the lemon juice, and the olive oil. It's easy to do. It's really, or you can make baconaise. Woo! Come on with bacon grease, get some. Let's see what else here. I like hot sauce, so that'd be 3. I'm not like super hot on the Scoville scale. I'm actually pretty mild, but I like. So there's this Verde Mexican hot sauce that I know I'm really narrowing it down. I don't remember the name. I can picture the bottle right now. Yeah, and also Cholula and like Frank's Red Hot, Sriracha sometimes, but I feel like Sriracha is a little played out. Yeah, Sriracha's played out, and yet I list Cholula and Frank's Red Hot. I fully understand the irony. 4, well, soy sauce, but I would put that higher. And 5, I would put fish sauce, because fish sauce is really good. Or oyster sauce over fish sauce, because I feel like oyster sauce is a little bit more accessible to the Western palate. It's almost like, all right, so it's thick. It's almost like a ketchup. It's soy sauce flavored with oysters. I feel like they just took the oyster out of the name, people would like it more. It's just a really good, like semi-sweet, savory sauce. It's good on everything. There you go. Next up, Stanley Moros. Matt Stanford, Darren Nelson. Yeah, Pride of Stanford. You'd be pretty good. Also, what's your favorite chip flavor? Kettle, jalapeno kettle chips. Can't go wrong. Stanley Moros, have to choose one cap considered. Trade Barr, Samia, and a second and a first to the Giants for Darius Slayton. You mean the guy who always just like destroyed Xavier Rhodes, that guy? Dexter Lawrence and Will Hernandez? Well, I mean, if I'm not primed to give up a second. I would be okay dumping Barr's contract, except I think he's got a pretty big dead cap number this season. Dexter Lawrence is fine out of Clemson. It was like a 2-down nose. Will Hernandez is obviously Will Hernandez. Slayton is okay when he's not playing. He's meh when he's not playing Xavier Rhodes. Send Reef, Barr, and a first and a third to the Texans for Laramie Tunsil. Yes, done. I'm in. Merciless, Fuller, and 6. But you got to pick up Tunsil's contract, too. It's rough. Merciless, fine. Fuller, yeah. Send Abdullah, Holmes, and a first and a 2022 second to the Chiefs for Darwin Thompson, Chris Jones, and a fifth. I'm not picking up that Chris Jones contract this time. Nah. I would consider 1, kind of in on 2, 3 now. Stanley Morris, who's winning a fight? Trubisky versus Ponder and Zimmer versus Kubiak. I think Zimmer beats Kubiak's ass. I think Kubiak is a bit of a pacifist. Zimmer was a college quarterback who started playing linebacker because he broke his neck. I may have made like all of that up, but no. Go look up Illinois State. Trubisky versus Ponder. Ponder, speaking of pacifist, Trubisky obviously can throw down a beer, but I think Ponder could like sneaky just like get after it. Ground and pound. Actually, Ponder has so much free time. I bet you he takes taekwondo and karate with all the kids down at the strip mall in Tallahassee. Yeah. Lastly, Greg McDowell says John Reynolds is VP. Boom. All right, that is it. That is the live stream for today. Jeromes, you guys are the best. Thank you very much for coming along and making us part of your day. We'll be back tomorrow, Friday. It's 9 a.m. Central Time for the live stream. If you want to support the work, ProLifeDay.com/support. First line in the description, you know what to do. But we're out here today. Skull, production value.